among the officials who had come through for this meeting. You'll remember the background and context. This community had had many interactions with Limpopo officials, with the Ministry of COCTA, the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs led by Des van Rooyen, and also just recently there were statements that they were not happy about that were made by Minister of Police Fikile Mbalula. And so when people came here this morning, and I've been talking to many of the people that came here, they were looking forward to hearing from President Jacob Zuma. And when he didn't arrive, whatever official was being introduced at the podium was met by chants of Zuma, 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 as the people demanded that President Jacob Zuma speak to them directly. And when that didn't happen, well, after a short while, we then saw, after Minister of COCTA, Des van Rooyen, had tried to take to the podium, but the crowd was not willing to listen to him. After that incident, we then saw the officials, including Premier Stan Matabata, Minister Fikile Mbalula, and Minister Des van Rooyen, and the officials here in Limpopo sort of have a little caucus at the top table. After that little caucus, we saw them leaving. And I must tell you, the haste with which they left Bongiwe was incredible. I mean, it was almost, planned in terms of the exit, because the riot police, were an integral part of it, with the Anyalas sort of escorting them out at a very high pace, driving out of the area of Vuwani. So what you're seeing now is a situation where there's a crowd that's still milling around at this sports ground where this meeting was supposed to be taking place. It's being watched closely by police officials, public order policing officials. I'm not sure if you can see them on your screen at the moment.
Definitely, I can see them, Tulas, those public order policing officials making their way towards the crowd. But also, Tulas, one of the other things that I want to check with you, where are the leaders of the pro-Makado task team? Because a short while ago, they were talking about, you saw that leader there saying that they don't like us because they told us that President Jacob Zuma was going to come, and saying that we saw all over the media that the president was going to come. Where are they now?
In fact, Bongi, we're going to do something that is perhaps it's becoming a habit of doing things that are not technically sound. I've actually got the leader of the pro-Makado, the spokesperson of the pro-Makado demarcation task team. He's on standby to talk to me shortly while our technical team sorts out the technicalities. But there was a big sense of disappointment about how things turned out, Bongiwe, and I'm going to keep talking to you while we sort out the technicalities. And as I'm speaking to you, I can actually see, the crowds dispersing in various directions. And I will need you from your side to confirm as soon as you can see our picture that you actually can see us. And at that point, I will bring you the spokesperson of the pro-Makado demarcation task team, Ntovo Sambo, who is on standby. Just let me know as soon as you can see our picture.
Well, Tulas, at the moment, we'll be with your picture just in a few moments. We're actually on your picture right now, Tulas. So if you can speak to Ntovo Sambo there and find out from him, obviously, what does this mean going forward?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Ntovo Sambo. Well, the meeting was meant to find solutions to the Vuwani demarcation issues. I'm looking around and I'm seeing empty chairs. I'm seeing people being dispersed from the ground here. Doesn't look like a solution was found. What happened?
It's a very good question as to what happened. But the fact of the matter is that you remember this meeting was called upon by the president and the king of Bavenda tribe to address this issue. And today, earlier on, the president was here. We met with him in the stakeholders briefing, and we agreed on the solution which was bringing, that they want this area to be services to be rendered by the district. We accepted that particular proposal as the leadership, but the only thing which was left behind is that the president should deliver the message to the people themselves. And as we heard, they are raising security reasons. That's why he was no longer allowed to come here to address the people. And you have heard the people calling for the president. They were anticipating him. Yes.
So let me just take a step back then. You're saying that there was a kind of agreement. Take us through that agreement that you had as leaders and the leaders of government.
At the moment, we cannot really detail all the technicalities, but this particular area will be administered by the district, and we have accepted that.
Mopani district.
Bembe district. Yes, Bembe district. We have accepted that. So, yeah, people are just disappointed because the president no longer shows up. It was only the king who showed up, and the ministers.
And so that proposal, you're saying you've accepted it as leaders, that in terms of service delivery and administration of this area, it should fall as a solution, temporary, I assume, it should fall under the Vembe district municipality. Do you think your people will accept that proposal?
It's a matter of talking to the people. See that this was the only option that we had, you know, because they said they cannot be able to reverse the MDB decisions to incorporate us into the LIM 345, but this is what they can do for us. So we understand the frustration coming up from the people. We do understand, but sometimes it could have been simpler if the president was here.
Yeah. Did the president at any point agree that he would come out and speak? I know that, you know, in terms of the invite, it said President Zuma to meet with the community, but in your meeting, did he at any point agree that, okay, after we've now sort of reached consensus on this issue, I will go through and talk to the people? Did that happen at any point?
When we left the briefing session earlier on, we were told that the president was following. Yes, so unfortunately he didn't.
So who told you this, that the president was following?
The government officials. Yeah, they told us that the president was following and he didn't.
So you mean to tell me you were just as surprised when he didn't arrive?
Like as you are. We're surprised because these are his people. He elected him in 2014, elected him in 2009 to serve, and he should listen to them, address them when there are issues.
So Sambo, let's perhaps, as I let you go so you can go on and and do what you need to do, talk to me about what happens now. Certainly you are suggesting that there's a kind of consensus that you are amenable to as the leaders, and you're saying that you're still going to engage the communities, but we've seen also the way that the people were dispersed here, and also how government officials left in such haste, retreating from a situation where they were supposed to be meeting the people. What happens in Vuwani now? Will things get back to normal? Will kids go back to school on Monday? What happens?
The deputy chairperson of the task team indicated that when he was addressing the people after the program was handed over back to the Promacar, that as from tomorrow everything will go back to normal. So that's the decision which was taken, and we just have to see how it goes.
So Sambo, thank you so much.